So the Hibsels, wolves, and wild dogs had bum rushed the prison, seemingly to try to break somebody out or create a distraction. But Izzen joined their fight and was helping them kill Zhentilar fighters and mercenaries who were acting as prison guards. And he had just helped one of the Hibsels kill one of them. Everybody except Aylef had been frozen in place magically.
Aylef is going to cast Dispel Magic on Dragomir.
From the current standing spot. All right, go for it.
Aylef quickly points his Morningstar hand at Dragomir in the middle of fighting and just yells out, "Meta!" And I rolled a 12.
Aylef, I'm going to let you describe what Dragomir experiences as the effect of the Baenite Cleric's Hold Person spell on him is negated.
So essentially, it's more about what he would feel than what he wouldn't feel. So it would be like coming out from his whole body being numb. Your whole body would tingle for a few seconds. Kind of like getting up after your leg falls asleep.
He'll kind of shake his body off as it's happening and flex all of his muscles, and he'll look over at you, kind of understanding, because he can still see what's going on while he's held and understand what's going on. So he'll look over you and just give you like a nod, even though it was magic. He's gonna give you just like a really approving nod, and then immediately turn and focus on the clerics right in front of him, and he will continue his heat up.
Yeah, so, okay, great. Mechanically, we're about to enter a new combat round. Izzen and basically everyone except Vael is going to get an action. Vael, you can't move or speak. You're just magically frozen in place. And the clerics surrounding you are yelling things at you like, "Kneel before Bane."
I have not kneeled before the Thayans, and I will not kneel before you.
Aylef is going to shield rush the leader cleric, the one that Dragomir is currently fighting.
Yeah, I mean he's grip his axe and go right back to it. He's still battle focused and heating up rapidly.
Quick question: are the animals making any progress on the jailbreak?
It's all they can do just to stay at the level of the guards. They are underpowered and they're giving it all they've got, and you can tell that your involvement with them is a massive boon to their effort.
Okay, so there's guards still fighting with the animals.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to turn and start fighting those guards with them.
So the guards are spilling out. See where on the bottom left, building 6 and that small path connect? They're all like spilling out onto that path, running around opposite sides and hacking and slashing at forest creatures as they go.
How tall is the building?
2 stories, but it's like a basement story and a ground level. So in terms of like climbing or jumping on top of it or whatever, 15 feet.
I'm going to try to climb to the roof and then fire arrows back down towards the backside guards. 98. That's a fail.
You just do a straight dex check next.
That's a 2.
Okay, so the dex check is going to get you up onto the roof, but it takes the entire round. So that's your action here. You weren't able to just like seamlessly Legolas your way up. You had to find footholds, and that was difficult. But you made it up in a single round in spite of that. Now that you're up top, you can kind of finish out your movement. Like that'll count as your combat action. But you can position yourself, get a beat on what's happening, that kind of thing.
I work my way to the top of the building, and then I go to that top right corner, the one you thought I was standing next to begin with, and then I'm getting ready to fire arrows down on anybody coming around the edge of the building towards the back.
All right. Yeah, mostly they're coming around from what'll be your right, like the Temple of Bane side. You can hear them, you can see them, and if you lean over and point your bow down, you've got easy headshots. whoever's coming from there. So for next round, you'll have your 2 bow attacks at +1 each on top of whatever else you get because of the height advantage. Let's go to Sing. You're at the edge of the woods where you left Izzen, and you'd probably be like, if you followed the number 7 on the Temple of Bane, a straight shot north into the woods, you'd be like just a little bit east of that, just a little bit to the right of that. And that's where you left Izzen. And you got back there right after he took off. So you saw him like rush into the fray, and that's where we ended with you last week.
Sing is going to cast Audible Glamour in the direction of where Vael, Drago, and Aylef are about to engage, but he's going to make it sound like it's coming from the west where he set the fires, and it's going to be a dragon roar.
Oh my. You may go ahead and cast that. Turn it over to you. We'll let you know how they react.
Sing's going to center it on the group who are engaging, the party members. He's going to kind of make his hands like claws, like a dragon's claws. And he's going to hear, "For those of you who hear my dragon's breath, you soon shall meet your death." And then he casts his spell.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So it works. What you're attempting to have happens in terms of like the sound you want it to make. And so none of them is anticipating it. So they're not going to get a saving throw here. It's just going to work on them. And what is it that they experience?
They hear from the west where Sing had set the blazing fires, the sound of a roaring dragon like crackling and like what a fire dragon would sound like coming into the area.
So like a massive red dragon just roaring while flying, and then maybe the sound of like its breath weapon just blasting and exploding logs of wood. A wisdom check for Glorgana, and it's going to be penalized. She passes, and then I'm going to make a wisdom check for her second in command there. Also penalized. He passes, and then I'm going to make a collective wisdom check for the 7 Baneite clerics following her. Penalized. And they all, very narrowly passed. So, their reaction here is there's this shockwave that ripples through their bodies. The hair on their necks stands straight up. In the middle of what they're doing, they stop. Their heads just snap to the west. Sing from a distance, you can almost see the fear come across them. A bead of sweat drips down one of their temples. Glorgana's eyes go wide, and then she very quickly recovers into a sneer. Her second in command is looking at her like, what do we do? And she shouts something at him over the sound, which it's very loud. And so she's shouting over it to her second in command. All you hear is this sneering, angry, feminine voice barking an authoritarian command and then and pointing. And then the second in command, he's going to rush straight down between building number 1 and building number 12. So straight down between the lumber mill and the barracks, presumably busting trail to get to the manor house at the south end of that portion of town. Let me switch to Aylef, Dragomir, and Izzen. Let's start with Izzen. You hear the same thing, a dragon roar coming from the west. How do you react?
Izzen immediately drops to prone position, kind of kneeling, crouching down, and looks to where the fires were started. And he just kind of stares.
Just see the fires burning.
Just the fire. And I know Sing had gone that way to start fires, so I'm staring, looking for a dragon, not sure what actually happened.
Yeah, you don't see one, so I guess we can come back to you after you don't notice that. And then Aylef?
Aylef hears it and looks around him real quick, but decides that it doesn't really matter because if these guys are still going to fight him, then he has to create an opening to get away from the dragon. So he's still going to shield rush, and then if he has an opening, he's going to run. and try and get everyone with him.
Yeah, Dragomir is preparing to attack, and he hears the boom, and he definitely like, oh, what the fuck is that? And he kind of looks around just briefly, but then as long as he doesn't immediately see anything in the sky, which he obviously doesn't, he's going to turn and try and seize the opportunity kind of the same way. Like, he knows that distractions are useful, so if he sees an opening, he's definitely going to try and take the opportunity.
They all recover, but they're going to go last in the initiative round. Nice job, Sing. Her second-in-command cleric just busts past the group and, like, races toward 8. He'll get there at, like, the end of the round. Izzen, you'll go at the end of the round, but then Sing, Aylef, and Dragomir, you guys can roll initiative.
12 total for me.
Yeah, 12 total for me as well.
I got a 3.
Okay, Sing, you're up.
Yeah, he's gonna magic missile the not Gorgana, but the other clerics.
So, congrats on leveling up to 7. You went from 3 to 4 magic missiles. You can aim, and they automatically hit unless somebody has like a spell or a magic item that prevents it. And you can shoot all 4 at the same person for 4d4 damage, or you can split them up in any way that you like. Who do you want to hit?
I'm gonna go for, whichever 2 are hardest to get to for Aylef and Dragomir.
So 2 each to 2 different of the servile Bay Knight clerics. Got it.
So 2 magic missiles for each of the 2.
It'll be 2d4 plus 2 for each guy.
A 4, nice. 4. 4 plus 4 plus 1. Well, that's 9. Another 4. Holy crap. It is on the camera, by the way.
Cool. I believe it.
Another 4. Max damage both. 9 for both.
Awesome. Nice job. Okay, 9 damage twice. Once each to 2 different guys. Well done. So, these magic missile arcane blasts they shoot out of your fingers almost like fireworks coming from some kind of deep forest fairy festival. They stream and screech halfway across this open area. They've like doubled in size and got a really deep green color. They pick up speed and just right into the shoulders and chests of the 2 clerics, like snaking around friendlies and other people to unerringly hit your target exactly as you intended. And then, Aylef, you have the higher dex, so you can go next.
I rolled a 15.
So you're going to shield rush Glorgana, and
1d6. A 6.
Sweet. Okay, so 6 damage?
Yes. Plus 1, because it's magic shield. And I think on max damage I get to roll for a knockdown.
You definitely should.
So with a d10 I need a 7 or above. Here we go. Nope, 5.
Okay, so even though you land really solid hit, it slams her back into like the architecture of the outside of the temple, maybe a pillar, and she smacks into it with like an oof. And then Dragomir slams into her with his attack immediately.
He blasts forward, following up the shield rush, and just kind of gives a thanks for the opening as he like slams his axe down kind of over top of Aylef's shield. And he rolled an 18.
That hits.
So he'll slam it down into like her right chest area and kind of just like rake it down as much as he can to do as much damage as he can.
The plus 10?
Plus 10, yep. So he does 16.
You just land like a devastating deep cut down her torso. She yells out in pain as she desperately clutches at the sickle strapped to her belt loop.
And then he gives a smug like, try and hold me again, wizard.
Okay, she's gonna make her attack, or attempt to. She's gonna hit AC 4, Drago.
Hits AC4. Yeah, I have a 5 right now.
So she has this wicked-looking, pristine sickle at her side. She, in a moment of desperation and just like reacting, she had already had her hand on it to try to counterattack Aylef, and now it's just adrenaline pumping through her veins. She's like just terrified, running on instinct after the devastation of that axe attack. She just slashes back at you with the sickle. It's enough to like give you like a solid nick across your inner forearm that was exposed in the nearly cutting her in half just now. It just deals Dragomir 3 damage, and he just needs to make a save versus poison, which for him is not a big deal.
Yeah, easily passed. 18.
There's a moment where you feel like something extra, and you clench your fist, and your dwarven blood squeezes out of your wound slightly and just like washes it away with no chance to even like enter your bloodstream.
Yeah, he does that flex and he just gives her a... Yes! Fight me like a real warrior.
So the second in command, he gets where he's going, to that manor house. All the casters are gonna cast again. All 7 of them are gonna cast command, just in like staggered combinations between Aylef and Dragomir. And all around you in this semicircle, you just hear like, kneel, die. Single word demands like that, spoken in these harsh, malevolent voices. Actually, each of you guys give me a D12 roll. The lower one is going to quote-unquote win.
10.
11.
Okay, cool. So 4 of the 7 are going to cast command on Dragomir, and the other 3 are going to cast it on Aylef. So Dragomir, you just want to make 4 saving throws versus spells, and Aylef, you're going to make 3.
The first one I barely passed. Second one is a 16. Third one is a 16. Fourth one is a 5.
Okay, so the 4th one's going to get Drago. Then Aylef makes 3.
Ooh, 12. 12. 19.
Okay. Just the holy presence of Corlan and the Seldarine shields your mind from the demands of these evil worshippers of an even more malevolent deity. And Dragomir doesn't have the same faith level of immersive experience that you may have, but his dwarven blood and a hyper-aggressive mind resist the first 3 spells that come his way. And then on the 4th, Dragomir, you just feel compelled to drop to the ground and go into a catatonic state. That's where you stay for the next minute. Izzen, you get to go now for the end of the round.
So, not seeing a dragon flying in the sky, I spin around and fire 2 arrows, aiming at the backs of the closest enemies to me.
So you're kind of letting them run past you and then shooting them from above and behind. So you can add +3 to your shots.
I'll roll a 1 the first time.
Oh no. So make a dex check to avoid like having to spend your second attack not falling off the roof.
10.
Okay. Yeah, you whip around and fire, and it's all happening so fast that you almost tumble over the side of the roof, but you're able to catch yourself.
All right. Roll that second one. 14 plus 3, 17, Thaco, 15, so I would hit a -2.
Yeah, that's going to hit.
So 7 damage.
Okay, 7 damage. You absolutely drop that guy. And now it's a new combat round for everybody except Vael and Dragomir. Izzen, looking around, you can see that thanks to your help, the tide of that immediate surrounding little battle is turning. A couple Hibsels have been killed, and they're not out of the woods yet, so to speak, but from your vantage point, it should be easy in another round or 2 to just like finish this off in their favor.
All right, I'm going to spend 1 more round firing into the backs of guards.
Okay. Let's go to Sing.
Sing's gonna cast Mirror Image and then rush the group of spellcasters.
Oh my gosh. Sing coming out of nowhere, like a bat out of heck, with just awesome spell after awesome spell. Let's go to Aylef. You're the only one left.
He's going to swing for her head with his Morning Star and block with his shield.
I know what you mean, but for the other players and the listening audience, you're talking about the actual block maneuver from Combat and Tactics, right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, each of you guys can roll initiative.
10 total.
I've got a 3 plus casting time 2, so 5.
Take a 17.
Okay, Sing's up first.
Yeah, Sing's gonna cast Mirror Image, which is somatic verbal. So he's gonna like clap his hands together, like he's creating versions of himself, like 1, 2, 3. And this time he's gonna say, "Many of me is better than one of me." And he's casts, and he's gonna start running towards the group. And I did roll a 4, so it's 4 plus 2, and there's 6 Sings, 6 copies, so there's 7 of me running towards them.
Oh my gosh. So when he finishes casting, 6 copies of himself like shimmer into existence with like the shimmer sound from the cartoons, and then they all swirl around like the shell game, and then they bamf like into him and then out again, swirling around as they go. And by the time this whole little animation is done, it's impossible to tell where like the actual Sing is and which ones are the facsimiles. There's just 6 that look like they could be him, and nobody knows which. And then or 7 rather, and then all 7 just start like bombing across this field, little legs just scampering. Aylef, you can save versus spell as Glorgana rears back, seeing you still attacking and Dragomir incapacitated for the moment. She slams her hand forward toward you, and with like all the fingers outstretched, and makes like a really nasty, aggressive facial expression and chants something at you in some disgusting evil tongue that you don't understand. Give me a save versus spell when you're ready.
I rolled a 20.
Nat 20. So this attempt to terrify you with magic just rushes past your temples with the feeling of like an unwanted heat. It's gone in an instant, and you can almost feel the Seldrine replacing it with like a cool forest breeze. And then you're up.
Okay, come on. Ooh, 18.
That's gonna hit.
A 4. And a 3.
So 7 damage total?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, you bash her like in the clavicle, and you can hear those bones like crack under the brute force. She screams out again. This big purple-black bruise spreads across through her torn upper garment, and she's looking in really bad shape. All these priests rush in. 2 of them start hog-tying Dragomir like every which way with like chains and shackles, while another one stands over him and casts. And then the other 4 attack you, Aylef. Give me another save versus spell.
Oh, yeah. I failed that hard. That's going to be a 2.
You hear something about the tyranny of Bane and fear the strife. And this time, it's like your temples just get slammed from both sides with dark magic that rattles your psyche, and immediately after it's done, you feel completely terrified, like all you want to do is run away as fast as you can and hide. The other 3 are just whack, whack, whack with maces. Only one of them hits, and I gotta look up. I think it's 1d6 plus 1, but I don't want to cheat it. You having fun tonight, Vael?
So fun.
Oh my gosh, poor Vael.
So much fun.
Oh my gosh. Or Vale. That hold person's not going to last much longer, I don't think. Aylef, as you run as fast as you can to the south toward the manor house, you take 3 damage. So you're like blasted with a footman's mace on the way by. Okay, so yeah, Aylef, you're just busting ass down this path to the south. Dragomir has been hogtied with chains. His hands and feet are shackled. He had cause serious wounds cast on him in the process. Yes, this one Bane cleric's hands, he chants something like horrible sounding, and then a red-black swirling fog surrounds his hands momentarily as he slams them into Dragomir's hogtied form, dealing. So Dragomir, you take 8 damage, and then at the end of this round, you come back out of your catatonic state. I think I got everybody there, except for Izzen, if I remember correctly.
I'm going to fire 2 more arrows into the backs of basically anybody I can shoot into the backs of. Oh, that's a nat 20 on the first one.
Okay, that headshot on that guy, he dies.
Let's use that same dice. It did good. That's a 4 the second time. So.
I was going to say rookie mistake. Rookie mistake.
Plus 3. 7. So AC of 8.
Yep, he's got better than that, so that one glances off his chainmail. But you roasted another one, and now that battle seems like, the tide's really turning, and even though the Hibsels are taking casualties, some of them are starting to break their way into the prison now. What do you want to do next, Izzen?
I am going to shift to the south side of the building and try to pick off some priests in the back.
Okay, sounds good. Aylef's running in fear. Dragomir, you're going to wake up this round and be like a little scraped up and immobilized with chains and stuff, hogtied. And then Singh is like rushing in with 7 versions of himself like swirling around in a shell game pattern.
Does Dragomir see enemies around? Like, are they still standing there?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're still standing right over top of me?
Yeah.
I guess he's just going to struggle to break free then, as his instinct.
Okay, cool. Singh, what do you want to do?
Singh's rushing in as his posse of himself. And he is going to try and break where he can confuse. It's specifically for like spellcasters too, like he can confuse and distract them.
An ability to distract and entertain. You can break the concentration of a spellcaster with a rude jibe or irritating pun. You guys, all 3 of you can roll initiative.
12.
I rolled a 2 on initiative. I don't know what the addition is.
Just 3, so you've got a 5 total.
Singh's got an 8, so let's hope they do worse.
The regular clerics serving Glorgana had a 6 on the die, so they're going to be worse than an 8 unless any of them casting command would have a 7. But Glorgana, though, she got a 1, so she's going to go first. She looks off into the distance, like basically clinging to life now. She's like super messed up. She's furious, but also exhausted and in a lot of pain, which sickeningly enough, she like, even though it like hurts a lot, some part of her also kind of likes it. She looks to the south, and out of her blurred vision, she can see Singh. Remember when you spotted that figure, and you were like, "Oh, that's got to be Lancerl Snowmantle, right?" And he had like a black cloak on and stuff, and was holding a staff. That guy is now approaching from the south. On each side of him, in like a horseshoe pattern, he has another black cloaked guy, and they have their hoods up. He's totally carrying that staff, and at the end of the round, they'll be in range of the battle. But they're just walking steadfastly. They're not in any kind of like hurry or anything like that, which somehow makes it worse. And then Aylef like rushes past them, and I guess we'll deal with that in a second. So she has Dragomir under control, and Aylef under control, and so Singh has just appeared. saving face here is the really important part to her. Not looking weak to this other guy or to her minions. So she's going to cast it on you, Sing. So you can make a save versus spell.
No, we rolled a 6 again.
She targets all 7 Sings, but only 1d4 are affected. And you fail your saving throw, and like one of the wrong Sings just freezes in place and stops rotating around. That's her action for the round. She grabs her scythe. 2 of the priests just start, she shouts at them, and they start dragging Dragomir into the temple. He gets to go to try to struggle and break free, but that's what 2 of the priests are doing. 2 of them start shackling and chaining up Vael and dragging her into the temple. So the other 3 join Glorgana in going to have like a showdown with Sing. Dragomir, your hands and feet are shackled, and then there's a very short chain that goes from shackle to shackle. Make a bend bars lift gates roll. A successful bend bars lift gates roll for you, which insanely enough is 50%, will rip apart one of the 2 of your choosing.
I got it exactly a 50%, oddly enough.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, one of those chains that's either holding together your leg shackles or your hand shackles, you just snap it.
I'll do the hands. You see him kind of like roll onto his stomach and then just squeeze really hard and pull his arms apart, and you see like the shackle just start to slowly buckle and buckle and buckle, and finally it just releases and he busts free with like a really loud and then as soon as he breaks that open, he's gonna like push up, press his body, and stand up, still with his legs bound, but at least he's standing. He'll wield his axe again and just kind of stand in place with his legs shackled. And he's gonna kind of just like ready himself.
So he goes to grab it, and it's not there. The clerics had disarmed him. One of them has his axe like slung over his back, and they were grabbing him by the shoulders, like underhooking his arms to just like drag him across the ground into the temple when he snapped the chains.
Okay. So then when he springs up, he's going to look around and find the axe, identify the axe, and then ready himself to strike that one if he's still in range.
So Sing, you can do your distracty as Glorgana, your vicious mockery as Glorgana and the 3 clerics like start approaching you, and look, all 4 of them look like they're going to begin to cast.
Okay, so yeah, Sing's gonna, all the Sings, because they're kind of mimicking him, they're gonna cup their hands around their mouths, like to make a megaphone like a kid would when he's yelling. He's gonna yell, 4 robes and not a stitch of sense between you summoning your demons. What are you arguing for here? And then he's gonna swing around in a circle with his hands, and he's gonna say, I've seen goblins fight better than you.
They're gonna get wisdom checks. So 2 of them pass, 2 of them fail. You see 2 of the minion clerics, they're in the middle of like gesturing, and they're very focused and serious, and then they hear what you say. One of their hoods falls down awkwardly over their faces, and he like is trying to like spit it out of the way, like you would spit a feather out of your mouth that landed in there by accident, like and he's all disrupted, and the other seems like mesmerized by the fact that like 6 of you are swirling around and saying this mocking, buffoonish jibes. He's never experienced anything like it, and then one of the like the 7th is just like sitting there like stuck, and it's just a very distracting scene to him. It causes him to pronounce like a couple syllables of his incantation wrong, and there's this puff that comes out from his hands, and no spell. Yes, save versus spell, Sing.
20. Totally
Nat
crushed
20.
it.
Okay. There's a flicker in your vision where The visible world shudders itself on and off really fast, and then it shakes away. The third guy just rushes up on you with a wicked-looking mace. He's going to melee attack you with it. He's going to smack the held version of you, and that one, he blasts it, and it pops like a bubble in his face, and there's only 6 sings left, the original and 5 rotating facsimiles. Oh yeah, Izzen, you can go.
So I peer up over the edge of the roof, quickly find my target. Is Glorgana's back to me?
Not anymore. She and her 3 guys' backs are not to you. They're all facing you. Then there's 2 who are like wrapping up, dragging Vaeleth into the temple. She's like halfway in. And then there's another 2 who are dragging Dragomir into the temple, but then he just snapped his chains free.
Okay, I'm going to aim at the ones dragging Vael.
Yep, you can roll for it.
So the first one would have hit a -5.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
And that would be 9 damage.
Awesome. Okay, what do you got for the second one?
Second one would have hit AC 6.
That one hits.
And if the first guy didn't go down with the first arrow, I hit him with the second one for 4 damage.
Okay, so 13 total to the same guy. Smart. You kill that guy, and the other one, he drops to the ground, causing Vael's limp body to kind of like sag under the other one's attempted carry. He hears like the thok and sees his companion go down. He drops Vael's body, just lets her like crash to the ground, and then he hits the dirt using her as a human shield. Now we get to Aylef running past these guys. Aylef, give me a save versus spell.
Ooh, a 20.
Okay. And then another one.
A 19.
Okay. And then a save versus wands.
11 plus. Here we go. 12.
Okay. This is still that first round where you were running in fear. So yeah, you just, for now, you run through the group of them as they all cast on you. That was the end of the round, and Dragomir, as you start trying to struggle to your feet, they hear the chain burst, and they drop you, and then back away to react. And that's how that round ends. Aylef, you're still just like running in magical, terrified fear for this upcoming round. Vael, you're still held. You're now lying on the ground and can't really see what's going on. And everybody else, you can do stuff.
This round, he is going to attempt to just haul off and either punch or headbutt the cleric that is carrying his axe that he's identified. Mainly in an attempt to just knock it loose from him so he can take it.
I'm going to make Glorgana my target.
How close are the approaching guys?
Glorgana and the 3 goons are 20 feet from you, and they're approaching, like, casting as they go. One of the 3 goons is in melee range. So you got 1 guy in melee range and 2 that are about 20 feet away casting.
Thing's just going to close that distance and cast Burning Hands at the 3 of them.
You guys can all roll initiative.
6.
Dragomir is going to be up first.
Yeah, he's just gonna spring to his feet. It starts as like a push-up, but he's just straight, like body stiff, just presses against the ground and stands himself straight up almost immediately, like as soon as he hits the ground. And he gets to his feet, and then he identifies the cleric carrying his axe, and just immediate instinct hauls off and just swings a huge hook, probably right into his chest or somewhere where he thinks that it will maybe dislodge the axe so he can grab it.
Cool. Give me since your feet are shackled together and you're starting the round prone, we'll just bypass any kind of prone rules or anything, but give me a dex check just to see if you can do all of that and still be faster than he is.
Oh, pray for me, boys. Yeah. A 7. It passes by 2.
All right. Yeah, you can roll that attack. We'll see what happens. There might be another dex check.
A 16 plus 3 from strength. Yeah, so 19 total.
Yep, that hits.
10 total then.
10 total, so you can roll 1d10 for knockdown. Let's give this an 8. If you get an 8, 9, or a 10 on this, then he's knocked unconscious.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, so his bell is absolutely rung. Instinctively, he attempts to mace attack you in response. Just swings wildly and misses, but in the process of railing him that hard with your feet shackled together like that, do a dex check to see if the follow-through takes you back down to the ground.
10.
Yeah, the follow-through is so hard that you go forward and land on your knees, which also ends up helping you, like, completely avoid being hit by his counter-strike with his mace. I'm going to let the other guy attack Dragomir since nobody's interacting with him. That way I don't forget there were two guys trying to deal with him. He is going to hit based on knowing what your AC is, and his cause serious wounds does 7 plus 9 damage.
Yeah, Singh is close enough now that he can cast Burning Hands at Gorgana and those two guys.
While he's walking and the guy is in melee with him, he does give himself up to an attack of opportunity, which hits, but you've got 6 of those mirror images now, plus yourself. So the guy attacking you with his mace and melee smacks another one, and this one bursts like confetti that kind of like rains down on him before disappearing. And so you're down to 5 mirror images, and then you can go.
Yeah, Singh casts Burning Hands, and he yells, he's like, "Your evil is not stronger than the force of my burning hands. How dare you touch my friends?" And he's like really pissed off at this point, and he just casts Burning Hands at them. Singh rolled a 6, so that's, divided by 2 is 3, plus 14 for his level is 17 damage for all 3 of them.
Awesome. Well, they're each going to save versus spell for half damage. She passes her save. One of the other 2 passes his. And then the third one fails. So the guy who fails, the fan shoots out of your outstretched hands and becomes like this arc, but the initial blast goes right into that one priest, and flames just consume him and start suffocating him. He drops to the ground as his little scary Bane mask starts to melt into his skin and like crack apart, and by the end of the round he just falls over dead, like crackling and smoldering. Lorgana raises her poisoned sickle to try and slash you with it, and underestimating you due to your size and her complete lack of respect for the forest and all things nature, the fan fans out like to into the full arc and then begins to overtake her, and she screams as before she can react to it, she's engulfed in flame and also drops to the ground dead. The guy who took half damage, that's going to be 6. Okay. Lorgana's dead, and then one of the 7 just got killed, and then Izzen killed one of the 7. So there's 5 left.
All right, so with Lorgana falling to the ground, I just aim my arrow at the other one that Singh just hit with Burning Hands and try to knock him out. Nat 20.
Oh yeah, double damage on this arrow.
I just roll that first. 7, so 14 plus 1 for the bow, 15.
Yep, throat shot on that guy. He crumples to the ground dead.
All right, then I'll aim my last shot at the last one standing over by Singh, since he's taking everybody else out. And I'll get a 15, 17, hit a AC -2 with that one.
That's gonna hit.
And that one's gonna take 5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Okay, that guy's dead. There's 3 of them left. You regain everything, Vale. You get a turn this round. all of a sudden you can move again.
Woohoo! Yay!
You're lying on the ground, and a Baenite cleric is lying behind you, using you as a human shield. He looks wounded.
Wounded. Am I able to reach my dagger and take that out and try to reach behind me and stab him?
Sure.
I rolled a 14.
Rolled a 14, but your magic dagger is +1, so that's a 15. And then you subtract your attack roll from your 15 Thaco to get 0. That's the AC that you hit. So that hits, Vael. You can do
Yay!
1d4 + 1 damage.
2 total.
2 total, okay. As soon as you start blinking and realizing that you can move again, you can hear this guy lying right next to you and like feel his breath on your neck. The whole thing just makes you furious if you weren't already. In like the quickest motion, you just go, and the first is you pulling your dagger out, and the second one is you slamming it into his neck, killing him. Aylef, you spend this round continuing to just blast past building number 8 and run all the way to the south beyond the village limits. There's only 2 clerics left alive, and they're the ones who are trying to handle Dragomir. One of them he punched, and then that guy missed him. And then the other guy already attacked him as well and got him with cause serious. The approaching wizards didn't go for this second round. So they're going to show up. The guy in the middle, the guy whose picture I sent, he points the rooftop up toward Izzen. The other 2 blast Izzen with a volley of magic missiles. So 7d4 + 7. Okay, so you just get blasted with these like black purple bolts of raw arcane energy, and by the time it's all done, you're slammed onto your back on the roof, like your bow topples next to you, like just out of arm's reach, and you've taken 26 damage. You're just down to -7 hit points, Izzen. These cauterize, so you're not bleeding out, you're just completely wrecked.
I'm just taking a nap.
Did anyone in our group see that occur?
Yeah, everybody except Aylef would see that. Sing especially, it's like blatantly obvious to him. He's gonna cast, he does not give a shit if this does peripheral damage to the 2 Baenite clerics surrounding Dragomir. He'd actually kind of enjoy that. So the guy in the middle whose picture I sent with the staff, he casts lightning bolt on Dragomir. He reaches that staff up to the sky and then speaks some kind of incantation in the language of the weave, and then slams the staff down, and out of a cloud passing lightly overhead in the sky, a massive shock of electricity just slams down, top of the head down, into Dragomir's body. So you're going to take 9d6 damage, but then you get a save versus spell to reduce it to half.
Yeah, Dragomir muscled that shit away with a 13. Passes by 1.
Of course, nice. You passed your save, so any stuff that you're wearing or carrying automatically saves. It doesn't annihilate the 2 clerics. He would have found that really pleasant. Okay, so you take half of 36, which is 18 damage, Drago. So you're down to
22.
So yeah, the rest of you just see like Dragomir, just his body just shudders, but you instinctively like grip every muscle in your body. They're already like engaged anyway, and you shake off taking any more than the 18. There's 2 clerics left who are the ones that are like trying to handle Dragomir, and then this badass wizard and his 2 like minions have just showed up. Izzen is unconscious but stable, and he's on the rooftop. And then Aylef, you are like completely outside of town, but you're just outside of town to the south when your mind becomes your own again. The fear leaves you. The terror leaves you, and you're back. Vael's back up. Other than Izzen, what do you guys do next?
I'm going to shake it off and sprint back as fast as I can.
Since you're running at full blast, it's going to take the entire next combat round for you to get back into the action, and then the round after this one, you'll be back.
So where am I in relation to these people now? So I was just...
They all like completely forgot about you. So if you look at the building marked number 1, you're just to the northeast corner of that, kind of in the center of that intersection. And the guys handling Drago are like on the doorstep of building 7, and you can get a rear attack on the closer guy in front of building 7. The guy who's closer to you has his back to you, but then behind you are like rapidly approaching the 3 wizards. Sing is like in between building 6 and 7 with a bunch of Sings rotating around himself, so you can't tell which one is which.
So because I am that one guy staring at me, I can't get like any kind of sneak attack. I can just get rear attack points, right?
You could backstab the guy who's facing away from you.
Well, then I think I will try that.
Do move silently to sneak up on facing away guy.
I got a 21.
And what are you backstabbing with?
My +1 dagger, I guess.
Okay, so you'll get a +5 to hit. And then roll your attack.
Okay, so I rolled an 11, so 16.
15 is your Thaco, minus 16 is -1, which means you hit AC -1, so that definitely hits. Now you're going to roll dagger damage.
Fuck. 2 total.
Okay, you actually get +1 to damage from your strength as well.
Well, then it's a 3.
The default rule is like for some reason you don't add magical bonuses off of weapons to like your backstab damage, but I don't like that, so I just do the whole thing. So a 3, but because you got a successful backstab, which is like your thief sneak attack ability, and you are whatever level thief you are, you do triple damage, so that's actually a 9. You just rush up on that guy, like kind of slinking and like scrunching down a little bit, and then when you get up to him, you raise up to full posture and just slash your dagger across his throat from behind, and he crumples into a heap at your feet.
Yeah.
Nice one, Vael. Oh, I was asking people what they wanted to do, and then I got carried away and let Vael go because she hadn't been able to do much. Let's jump to you, Sing.
Sing rolled a 2. What he wants to do is he wants to cast Spook at that blonde-haired wizard.
Okay, so 3 total for Sing. What was Vael's total initiative?
For the last one?
Yeah, for the backstab you just did. What'd you roll?
I don't remember if I even rolled.
Oh, okay. Roll for it if you would.
I just rolled a 6 plus 2.
So 8 total. Okay, so the guy you just slaughtered, he is going to get to go before you. So he'll still die, but he might get to attack Drago first, is why we did that.
I think it's time.
Okay. What happens here?
If the guy's still alive, he's going to try and full body press him, lay him out on the ground. If the guy's dead, then he's going to grab the axe and turn and try and slaughter the guy behind him.
Okay. What you got for initiative? Just add 3 to this.
A 6 total.
Okay. So Sing is up first.
Sing's casting Spook on that center guy.
Shoot it off.
The Sings put their hands in the air like a ghost almost, and then he just says, "Shadows stretch, courage thin, let your own doubts creep softly in."
He nat ones.
He's gonna die of fear.
Thing, this guy sees like 5 horrifying, ripping fanged, red-eyed, demon-like creatures rearing up and advancing on him in unison. In his mind, suddenly the Baneite religion becomes real, and its demons are after him because he has failed the god of strife. His face turns from this like overconfident scowl to one of sheer terror as his eyes go wide, and turns and flees at maximum speed. He's going to run right into that building 8. Yeah, Dragomir, you can save versus spell. The one guy who you punch is casting Cause Fear on you.
19.
Okay, yeah. You grin at him and he ends up getting afraid. As you're saving against that and grinning back at him, you're seeing Vael like appear behind him and then whoosh, take him out. The last thing he sees is your like cocky stare down. The guy behind you lands a notice attack for 6 damage.
All fuel for the fire.
That's right. And then Vael slices that dude's throat. He crumples. I think everybody else is gone now, except for the 2 wizards, and they go at the end. So, yeah, Dragomir, what are we about to witness?
Dragomir looks over and sees Izzen out of the corner of his eye get just absolutely blasted down on the roof, and then took the hit from the lightning bolt, and as he kind of like muscles that off and stands up, you see electricity like bouncing between his fingertips as he shakes them off, and then all of his muscles just stack up, and anyone that looks at him can see just this incredible amount of heat just radiating off of him all of a sudden, and he just starts shouting and screaming and psyching himself up really kind of indiscriminately, just not saying anything necessarily, just nonsense shouts. Then Vael kills the guy in front of him, and the axe falls to the ground, and he picks up his axe and he turns around and he just full battle stance screams at the guy behind him and goes, "I've had enough of all of you f***ing with me." And then he just turns, just full on charges towards that guy, 2 hands on the axe, just, and he is now gone berserk.
Bam! Dust and sweat are just like shooting off of him as he charges forward with his axe, like raging out before him. The berserker goes berserk for the first time.
So he's charging to split that guy in half. 17 total on that.
Yeah, that hits.
Plus 13, so yeah, 17 damage total.
Yeah, he's dead. So you can just describe annihilating that guy.
He shouts that and charges and just puts his axe out with both his hands. Right before he gets to him, he just thrusts his axe out and then slices down, and it splits the guy right in half, and he runs through the body, bursts the blood out on the other side, and then immediately turns his eyes on the wizard, and he's gonna start moving towards him and just charging with like a furious scream.
Whoa. Some Mortal Kombat shit to that guy. The other 2 will also get to go. So we'll start next week with the 2 wizards who were not magically spooked by Sing firing off their spells at Dragomir. Probably magic missiles, but we'll see.